Good morning, MacLaren. It is my privilege today to honor the 10th grade boys. I feel a special affinity with these boys as they started as 6th graders at MacLaren the same year I began teaching here. I can still remember their eager, smiling new middle school faces in the lobby of Pulpit Rock Church. If there's one thing that seems to unite this class, it is their positivity. They are always looking to put a positive spin on things, which has been especially valuable during this last year of the pandemic. Those smiling faces from 6th grade are still there, even though they have all grown about 2 feet into talented, creative, curious, good-natured, humble, and at times really funny young men. Mr. Nagaoka has pointed out that the boys from this class are capable of stellar academic seriousness, as well as caring, inclusive friendships that make the social anxiety low. Their social awareness also extends toward their teachers, whom they regularly meet and greet on the playground and in classrooms. They even held a surprise waffle party for Mr. Schmidtgen on his birthday. Mr. Fuller fondly remembers several moments that made him smile during the year, such as one of the students serenading the others on his instrument during lunch, and also the class giving an actually musical rendition of Beast of England from Animal Farm. He also enjoyed their enthusiasm and curiosity when reading Crime and Punishment and studying Napoleon. Mrs. Kimliko says that the boys in her French class embraced the challenges of learning a new language and welcomed the opportunities to express themselves in French. Their genuine interest in French culture was evident through the observations they made during readings and discussions. Again, their creativity and humor emerged in dialogues, stories, and poems they created with what they had learned. I will remember some stunningly beautiful moments created in orchestra class and their genuine interest in pieces such as The Barber of Seville, The Sentimental Sarabande, and a Mozart symphony. They were able to bring the full range of characters into their music making, from exuberance and joy, to the powerful and profound, to the tender and sweet. I will also remember when a group of you asked to join me at lunch and were interested in talking about great pieces of classical music. 10th grade boys, one of your special qualities is that you are receptive and eminently teachable. You show a humble interest in how you can improve and how you can grow. Your sense of wonder, your humor, your humility, and your positivity during this strange year has been nothing less than impressive. Thank you for making us teachers smile.
Good morning, MacLaren. Today it is my honor to honor you, 10th grade girls, on behalf of your teachers. We just finished learning World War II, talked a lot about Winston Churchill, who is highly quotable. And I want to share with you a quote today of his. He says, "Every day you make progress. Every step may be fruitful, yet there will stretch out before you an ever-lengthening, ever-ascending, ever-improving path. You know you will never get to the end of the journey, but this, so far from discouraging, only adds to the joy and the glory of the climb." This last sentence of the quote always surprises me, probably because by the time I get to that sentence, I'm already discouraged by the fact that he just told me I would never get to the end of the journey. How can there be joy and glory and fruit and progress every day when there's no end in sight? Well, you give me some answers to these questions, 10th graders. The path you take through 10th grade is naturally uphill. You start from the solid ground of 9th grade and ever climbing, building on building, day on day, knowledge on knowledge, to the end of 10th grade when you are ready to open the door to being an upperclassman. But this year, spread out a path before you filled with particularly spiky stones and detours. Small cohort, big cohort, masks on all day, inside and out, moving from IA building to modular, or some of you from modular to modular, and lots of outdoor class with the sun beating down or the wind in your face. So what did you do? You found ways to stay on the path together. While both the alphas and the betas found creative bonding ways to spend lunchtime, the betas developed this blindfold game involving a whiteboard and lots of guessing. And the alphas played hangman and tried to prevent Norman the snowman or their underwater sea drawings or their quotes of the day from being erased. The alphas love to ask questions and double check and triple check their information. The betas want to know a lot too, but oftentimes they request a few minutes of quiet thinking before asking questions. Last fall, you could find the betas first thing in the morning, huddled around, but not too close, Miss Rilling for Humane Letters, eagerly listening to what she had to say, learning from each other. In the afternoons, the alphas could be found walking in single line behind me, trying to find a bug-free zone for Humane Letters that also allowed for the right amount of sun and shade to make everyone happy. Now, sometimes the stress of math, of chemical compounds, of 30-second notes on top of ever-changing pandemic conditions would get difficult. It was tempting to throw in the towel, but when it came down to it, you hung in there. It wasn't just because you were channeling your Hobbesian natural right to everything, or that you were settling that life was nasty, bruised, and short. Instead, we saw you trying to bring cheer to one another through decorating your classrooms, through the aesthetically pleasing choices of your binders and your lettering and your plants, bringing treats to share and then bringing treats to share again and then doing it again and again. We saw you trying to learn from one another, whether you're having a conversation through a screen or in person or both, and encouraging one another when a test or discussion or life circumstances became really hard. It seems clear that these steady, constructive, reassuring choices and activities made staying on the path for one more day possible, and even gave you moments of joy in the climb. And by the way, if you all banded together with all of your outdoor practice, you could field a pretty impressive volleyball team. Or if that doesn't work out, how about starting a professional Gaga pit league? But until then, you can take a moment to be proud of all you have learned this year, the ever-progressing path you have steadily trod this year. You conquered the unit circle. You surmounted levels of chemistry that some college students don't even see. You embraced new languages, new cultures, new vocabularies, grammatical structures, and that takes courage to start from scratch. You were appropriately moved by the people you encountered in Humane Letters, real or fictional. Whether it's your struggle with Lucy Minette and her decisions, or your disappointment in Raskolnikov and his decisions, your strong moral imagination led you onward. It enabled deep sympathy for those suffering, enjoyment in the ridiculous, and an indignation for the cruel or the domineering. You are wonderfully informed teenagers, eager to draw parallels to your world and your experience and what you want for your future. Mr. Redpath said that with all your pieces, you tackled big challenges with positivity and sincerity and lots of effort, contributing to exciting performances. His description of your pieces sound a lot like you as a class. For instance, the sentimental Sarabande is very lyrical, poetic, and passionate in its sentiment, just like you. The Barber of Seville is very dramatic, playful, and joyful as the overture of an operatic comedy full of hijinks, just like you. And the Mozart Symphony is one of his most beloved, youthful, and joyous symphonies. And its energy is electric and dazzling, just like you. Thank you for being willing to grow, to be willing to learn together, and to face the ever expanding road ahead of you with anticipation and good cheer. Thank you.